What's up, my pack? Your Alpha is here. Welcome back to another movie review. Chills, man. The chills. The chills. The feels. What are we talking about today? Well, your Alpha's going to tell you what we're talking about today. We're talking Avengers Infinity War. I saw it today. Well, whenever this goes up, I saw it Friday. And a couple of my friends who saw it earlier, saw the preview, were saying, Chris, texting me saying, Chris, you're going to love it, Chris. Get a tissue. Let me tell you something. They were damn right. Goddamn right. First off, this will be a spoiler-free review. The next part, I'm putting up 2 reviews of this movie. Spoiler-free, and the others will be spoilers. And, of course, some as my usual stick. So this is a spoiler-free. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I posted a little reaction on Stardust. Follow me on Stardust if you like. And I said the same thing. The chills, the feels, this movie brought it for me. And it brought everything that was built up since the day the MCU came to be. Built up 10 years, ladies and gentlemen. My betas, my pack. 10 years we waited for this. I said before, in the last time, I've always said this. Kevin Feige said, you're gonna know why we built the man known as Thanos up. And did he fucking deliver? Excuse my language. Yes, he god dang did. This movie was great. This movie brought the feels, the chills. Malcolm and I, my brother, walked into this theater and I had the chills the moment that first scene came on. And it doesn't stop right there. This movie takes you on a roller coaster, and it's a dangerous roller coaster. You get to clearly see why Thanos is who he is. And too sweet, and big ups to Josh Brolin for that just epic portrayal. His voice coming out of Thanos, it was just like you took a step back and you're like, oh God. Everybody who was involved in this movie, cast, brought everything to the table. You got to see different dynamics. You wanted to see a certain how these characters would interact with each other. It was there. It was there. And there were times in this theater, I can tell you right now, there were times when Malcolm and I caught a 6 o'clock showing. At that 6 o'clock showing, it was packed. And I sat down there with the chills. Usually when I start getting excited or so for certain things, ladies and gentlemen, my hands start twitching. Like twitch. Like, and I can't stop it. And I had the chills the whole time. That first scene, oh my. When I tell you that I literally almost jumped out of my seat, you best believe I nearly jumped out of my seat. Just the sheer impact Thanos had was exactly what was needed for this movie. He had to hit it. He had to hit a grand slam real quick. And let me tell you, being that, once again, as I always do, when I'm watching these superhero movies, I try to leave that comic side of me here. I leave it at home. You got to stay here. But this time I said, no, you coming with me. Thanos had to hit it right. The past villains that we've seen in MCU, that was always one of the biggest chinks in that armor that a lot of fans would always say. The heroes are great, but the villains are not so good. But to me, we started later. We started getting some really good villains. And yeah, going from Thanos to, yeah, Hela. Hela was great. I'm sorry. I do not discredit her at all. Hela, Killmonger, of course. Vulture. I gotta throw in Ultron. I don't care how anybody classifies Ultron, but Ultron was great. You had, at that point, you started getting an abundance of good villains that stood on that same platform as the heroes. And in this movie, did they stay? Did the villains stay on platform? I'll be the one to even say here, Thanos in this movie did get you thinking a little bit. Like, his motives of, I'm not going to spoil it, but his motives kind of had you questioning, like, wait a minute, is it right? Is he telling the truth? Was his execution just wrong? That's the whole deal. Why should we stop him if his execution is not right or wrong, but it's a little logic? It had you thinking. They gave you more than just Thanos just being this, ha ha ha, yeah, I must rule the world, I'm the Mad Titan, bow to me. No, there was a little bit more to him than meets the eye, no pun intended. Couple of surprises that they kept, those surprises that they kept under wraps. Too sweet to the Russo brothers, Marvel, Mr. Feige, all you guys out there. There was some great surprises I did not see coming. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The fights in this were great. I will say this, and I have to say it here, and I'll even say it more in detail in the spoiler edition. The Black Order, to me, was probably one of the kind of the letdowns. I wanted to see more of what makes Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw, Corvus, all of them kind of tick. Like, what really makes them tick? A little bit more into their backstory, but you know, you're not going to get everything you wish for. They just mainly came off to me more as just Thanos is their general. They're his foot soldiers. Even though in this they made this version of them were their children, his children. But from seeing the Guardians mixed with some of the Avengers, seeing Tony, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange, the Battle of the Beards, mix it up, to seeing the emotional roller coaster between the likes of Steve and Rhodey and Vision and Wanda, to the more character arc of the Hulk in this was incredible, and it really had me just at the edge of my seat. When I got excited, I got excited. When I tell you right now, I screamed several times in this movie theater when things went down, didn't go their way, things like that. Kevin Feige truly stayed true to his word. This is more of the Avengers are the supporting cast, while Thanos is the real star. And that was a twist, a bold twist and move for Marvel to make. And you know what? I can't fault them on it, because this was just the right amount for us fans to really say, you know what, hey, Marvel, y'all, you got to give it to them on this one. Feige, Mr. Feige, I know you're not listening, but you were a man of your word in that Wired edition magazine when that interview came up. You were a man. You kept your word. I said if it didn't pan out well, yeah, I'm gonna call you out on that. But you were a man of your word. This movie really gave you the feels. And when I tell you guys that I broke down and cried on certain things, there's a scene, there's a moment in here When that moment came up, your boy was crying, broke down in tears, and if a movie can do that for me, if a movie can do that, get me emotionally involved, it's got me hooked. I'm like a big watermouth bass. You got me. And that's exactly what this did. Talk about fatigue, talk about, oh, it's time to put this to rest. Let me tell you something. If the future goes on, and seeing where they're pushing this stuff now, if that ending was any indication of what's to come, if you haven't read Infinity Gauntlet, which this movie is loosely based off of, I do recommend reading it, getting the feel for what they were trying to do in this. But there really was no true character arc besides some things, but everybody really delivered. And it was just like, this is what 10 years brought us. 10 years of what a big abundance of what the cinematic universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is willing to do, what's to come in the future, and you can't fault them on that. This movie was great. Emotionally involved. I'm still emotional. I'm still emotional, but I didn't want to spoil anything for you guys. This time I felt like I didn't have to spoil. Now, if you want to be spoiled, then that means you definitely go to the next video, which will be up somewhere here or there. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but that will be the spoiler edition. And I'll get more into detail. But other than that, guys, this is Mount Vernon Kid, your alpha. Bidding peace, one love. Stay tuned, keep it real, keep the hope.